mother always told me, someday you'll be good at something. I mean, I don't think she could have guessed that something would be zombie killing. What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
Close, but no cigar.
Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Hey, look, with the stock markets tanking and everybody panicking, this is absolutely when we need our financial education. We need that experience to help us through these times. I'll tell you what, talking to my man Larry, talking about this week when the stocks were absolutely crashing, he says to me every day, you know, what about this stock? What about that stock? I'm losing money. Man, I'm losing this, I'm losing that. And I kept telling him, look, you have to believe that Wall Street buys them up to sell them off. And I said that to him every single day. And I actually believe it. And I'm going to show you some things in this video where I actually took advantage of this opportunity with the stock market falling. And he looked at me, he said, you know what, man? You're just like Woody Harrelson in Zombie Land. Everybody's panicking, man. But Woody is there, just absolutely calm as the other side of the pillow. And here you are, man. When the market's tanking almost 1,000 points a day, you're just sitting there rubbing your hands looking for the next opportunity. That's what I believe. And I think from my past experience with the oil crash, the real estate crash, the dot-com crash, it's really galvanized me to have a belief that Wall Street does one thing: make money. And they know how to do it. They run the stock market up to sell it off, to run it back up. And it's amazing how that actually works like clockwork. I'm going to show you a chart on the Dow, and it is unbelievable. They will sell at the top and buy at the bottom, and they're going to look to run it up. Today, we're going to talk about how we keep the cash printing machine going even when the stock market's tanking. Look, I am just like you. I get on YouTube, man. I'm looking for that comfort video. Somebody out there that's actually going to comfort me, make me feel better when the market's crashing. But look, the reality is, through your confidence, your skill, and your financial education and experience, that's what gets you through these moments of turbulent time. Hey, it's not some guru on YouTube patting you on the shoulder saying, look, we're going to get through this. It's about not turning around and running. It's about stopping, facing the situation, and dealing with it. And that's going to be the theme today. So today we're going to talk about a couple things we can do with a stock while the stock market's tanking, where we can still make money. You know, the amazing thing is I have seen a couple new videos that have gone up on YouTube, and I'll tell you, look, they leave a lot to be desired. So for me, being in almost every situation when we sell premium, whether it's writing covered calls on stocks that are skyrocketing higher, or writing covered calls on stocks that are tanking, or selling cash secured puts when a stock falls and we're just looking to cherry pick some cash secure put premium, or when a stock really tanks and I get assigned the shares, or I don't want to own the shares, so I have to use exit strategies. And when you've had that experience, you become galvanized and you don't get emotional. You know, I've always talked about the stock market and how it can affect you emotionally. And that's the key here. If we have the experience, look, we can weather these storms and we can make some money. It's all about making good decisions. I hope you're making good decisions out there. Now let's go ahead and get this going here. If you like what you're hearing at the channel, I want you to subscribe to the channel. It's right there and it's free. And we're here every week. We're going to talk about selling premium, writing covered calls, selling cash secured puts for that guaranteed weekly and monthly income. Remember, can we do this strategy in retirement to make the ends meet? Can we use this to supplement our income now to make the ends meet and have the good life? Look, that's what this is all about. Hey, and I'm not going to say I'm a guru or a rock star of options trading. What I'm going to tell you is that I have experience, and I've experienced almost every situation. Look, if we get that experience, it's about making great decisions using the golden rules of covered call writing, picking those great stocks that we feel comfortable with and we could feel comfortable with when they fall, right? That's the key. We have to own these stocks when we write covered calls. So we have to make good decisions, and that's going to be the basis or the foundation of everything we do going forward. Look, if you like what you're hearing today, I want you to bang that like button. It's right there and it's free. Hey, look, it lets me know you like what I'm doing. And what we're doing is we're always updating the CTP dashboard every Wednesday with the newest, freshest, best stocks trading on Wall Street this week. That happens every Wednesday. So I want you to take a peek at it. It's free. All you have to do is download it, open it up, check it out, and begin your research. Look, I offer all these tools up for you for free. I want you to visit the CTP dashboard today. What are the best stocks trading trading on Wall Street right now. Now look, let's go over to that Dow chart because I want to show you something with resistance lines and support lines with this stock market. Now, one of the things I do not profess to be is a chart expert, but what I like to do is look at a chart and have it tell me a story. And the story this chart tells me is this: every time Wall Street sells off the stock market, they like to buy it back. Now, that's not a guarantee they're going to buy it back, but take a look at that chart. And every time it hits resistance, right, the top line, every time it hits resistance, they sell it off. They buy it up here, they sell it off here. Now look, again, those aren't absolute indicators, but when we have that huge sell-off, right, we've had this phenomenal run since July, and that's a lot of fluff. Right? There's a lot of stocks out there like Square that rallied from, $45 all the way to $100. There's a lot of fluff out there, and Wall Street loves to take that fluff off the table. They don't want to lose those gains either. So when the market starts to tail off, and then we really start to tail off like we did last week, look, you're going to have selling. Hell, you're going to have the computers kick in and they're just going to sell, sell, sell. Well, the thing I'm looking for is where does it bounce based on those support lines? And for me, I drew this line right here, and that's where I'm thinking Wall Street's going to buy them back. Again, this is all news dependent. So if we get more interest rate talks or we get more trade war talks, look, they could sell it off even further. It happens. But if I get that nice dead cat bounce on a lot of the stocks that I like, I'm going to take advantage of it because I think at that point, Wall Street will at least have a little relief rally, and that's what I'm going to play here. So for me, I have to ask the question, very similar to how Kramer asked the question, how does this event affect the earnings of Bristol Myers, right? You've heard that before. He makes a great point there because how does this stock market fall relate to the news that has come out? And I will tell you this, the way I break it down is this. We've had this phenomenal rally to all-time highs. A lot of people have made a ton of money. There's a lot of news about the Fed raising more and more and more. So you're getting this community on Wall Street that is fearful. They want to take some profits, right? Wall Street does not like uncertainty. So for them, they want to take the profit. So we get this pullback. Well, when we get that pullback, that's going to be an opportunity to pick up some shares of our favorite stock. For me, I looked at Friday as that opportunity. And now I'm sitting here saying, okay, we've had this tremendous sell-off and the numbers are big, right? That's why we see a down day that's 800 plus points, 600 plus points. The numbers are so big now, you better get used to seeing 1,000-point up days and 1,000-point down days. Just be focused on the percentages because when the Dow was down 850 points, it was down 3%. And look, if you follow the stock market, stocks will move up or down 3% on a daily basis. Now, yes, the S&P 500 doesn't do that, but it's not the end of the world with the numbers being so big. The Dow was near 27,000. Looking at that big 1,000-point drop, really it's psychological. Really, I'm looking at the percentages. And for me, I'm looking for that nice 7% peel off from its all-time highs because you know what we get at 7%? We start to get Wall Street thinking about buying, right? And then at 10%, they consider that a full-blown correction. And when corrections have happened, people look to buy up stocks. They're going to buy the great stocks. That's why you always see Microsoft fall from the high and settle, and wherever it settles, as Wall Street starts to buy them back up, great companies like Microsoft always come back. So look, the key thing here is to look at these support lines, and if you're going to put new money in the market, start your research with good support lines. The 100-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, because just like you, there's some cat on Wall Street watching these support lines, and that's where they're going to start buying, because now they can justify their entry points, right? When they're buying stocks when the RSI is at 80, there's no justification. They can't go back to their investors and say, oh, I thought it was a great buy when the RSI was at 80. But when the RSI is 50 and below, they could start to say it's a value buy, or they're buying when things are oversold. So use those indicators. Go to YouTube and watch, explain the RSI, explain the moving averages, explain the Keltner channels, and start your financial education right there. So when we have moments like this, you can use those indicators so you're making great decisions. Now, let me show you one of the decisions I made during this free fall, and I think you're going to like it. Now, I know I'm getting long in this video, so let me finish it up. What have I recently done? Well, when the stock market started to tank just the other day, I'm looking at a stock like Adobe. Adobe, I've played this a couple times and I've made a lot of money. The thing about Adobe that I love, and again, this is my opinion, maybe not your opinion. Adobe is like the Switzerland of tech companies, right? They're in a great business that pretty much nobody competes in, right? They dominate the space they're in, and they're in the cloud, which the cloud is the hot buzzword of today. And Adobe is just killing it when it comes to earnings. So for me, it's all good with Adobe. And you can see their stock has been all good. So for me, I'm going to look for Adobe to be that stock. When the stock market tanks, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to keep them on my list. And sure enough, in the case of Adobe, just on Friday, it was up 10 and 11 bucks. It falls hard, but Wall Street buys it back up. You could see every time they sell it off, they buy it up. Sell it off, they buy it up. Adobe is one of those companies that I think when they sell off the market, they buy back. So what did I do? When the market's tanking 850 points, well, Adobe had fallen from 280 and it had fallen all the way down into the 250s. So thinking we might have a little rebound from this falling, I went ahead and stuck it in for a cash secured put at 250 and a cash secured put at 245. I'm sitting there figuring, look, I want to buy Adobe, but instead of buying the shares and taking on the risk, I'm just going to slip in a cash secured put right here, collect the premium, and see where this goes. And sure enough, Adobe falls from that 154 price when I wrote that first 250 cash secured put. I got paid $5 for that, by the way. So literally a day or two later, I'm going to be stuck with a cash secured put being assigned the shares of Adobe at 250 and 245. Now, it's an October 26 expiration, so I'm not sweating it because I think we're at the bottom of this recent sell-off and I think it's going to rally higher. And if my bet is right, they're going to rally Adobe higher and I'm never going to be assigned these shares. So for me, using this market sell-off to pick up some cash secured put, cherry picking profits, I'm going to use a great company like Adobe, for which I think Adobe's going to rally off the bottom. And sure enough, what do we get? Adobe actually rallies Friday and we're back at 248. This sucker was just at 231. So look, I don't know where this trade goes, but what I'll tell you is this. I feel comfortable in my strategy, and if I get assigned Adobe shares, I feel comfortable with it. I won't like it that I got it higher, but I picked up some premium. I'm going to add that to my cost basis, and we're going to look to write some good covered calls when the market turns and heads higher. See, that's my belief, and Adobe's going to announce great earnings. I mean, come on, they're killing it, and I feel very comfortable owning Adobe. Now look, you may not feel good owning Adobe, and it may not fit your risk profile, but for me it does, and I'm going to use Adobe. And this is how I use market volatility to pick up those cash secure put profits. And I look at it like this. This is like cherry picking. I think the markets fall off, they're going to rally them higher. Instead of taking the risk of owning the stock, I'm just going to write that cash secure put, pick up that premium, and really play the strategy. If this plays out the way I think, Adobe's going to go higher. I'll never be assigned the shares. And between these two premiums, I pocket over $8.50 and we move on. Hey, look, I hope you're keeping it together during these emotional market sell-offs. Get your financial education, get your experience. So when things like this happen, you're not sitting on the edge of your seat wanting to jump, right? Look, we get that experience, we get that confidence. Look, I'm telling you, you can manage these market sell-offs a little bit better. Hey, look, we may win or lose, but at the end of the day, we're not emotionally ripped, right? And that's the key, because the markets will always be there. Are we going to stay in the game and stick with it? And I'm telling you, the only way you get there is by getting your experience, which builds that confidence. And I'm telling you, once you get better and better and better at this skill, you're going to have more success than failures. Hey, look, I truly wish you all the best in trading. And look, if you like this video today, I want you to bang that like button. Until next time, I hope all your covered calls are profitable.
All I see is signs, all I see is dollar signs.